In this tutorial, you will learn how to enter a new payment using the databank for credit card or EFT charges that are not entered online. Entering a new payment manually within the databank would be required if the donor wrote down their credit or debit card information for you, or if they returned a reply card from a mailing with their bank account information included. The steps outlined in this tutorial are not necessary unless you need to process the payment through your payment gateway. Cash and check transactions can be logged directly in the member's record. To get started, look up the member and access their contribution page within the member record. If the member is not already in your databank, it is best to create a new member before continuing with these instructions. Next, click the credit card icon at the top right of the contribution history section. Next, fill out the new payment form with the required information. As you can see, most of the personal information about the donor has been pre-filled for you. If you need to make any changes to this information, feel free to do so at this time. If the member has submitted a different billing address than the copied value, enter that now. Then scroll to the bottom of the screen until you have reached the Payment Information heading. Under the Payment Information heading, fill out the fields with the information provided by the donor. If you would like to base this contribution off of the donor's previous payment, click the link that says Copy Values from Member's Previous Payment. For a new contribution, select a contribution type. Please note that your contribution type list could be different than our sample database. Next, select a payment method. If this were an ACH transaction, you would select checking or savings, enter the bank's routing number, and the number on the account. But in this example, I will select credit card. The contribution date will always display today's date by default in an attempt to save you time. However, if you need to change this date, simply delete the text and replace it. Next, select a campaign and key code from the corresponding drop-down menus. Key codes are synonymous with segments elsewhere in your databank. Next, scroll down and enter the credit card or ACH information. In this example, I will enter fake information for a Visa card. Notice that you must enter the expiration date with 2 digits for the month and 2 digits for the year without any symbols. Finally, enter the name on the card. The number of payments field will only be used when setting up a pledge. For a single payment, entering the total amount will pre-fill the number of payments, amount per payment, and payment frequency. For pledges, if it is a recurring payment with no end date, check the box for open-ended and enter the amount per payment and payment frequency. For pledges of a fixed duration, ensure that the open-ended checkbox is deselected, and enter the total amount of the pledge and be sure to modify the number of payments, payment frequency, and enter a pledge end date. For more information on how to process pledges, be sure to consult your user guide or check our website for available live training. Finally, under the Status heading, under normal circumstances, you should not have to change any of these settings. One instance where you may have to modify the status, however, is if you have more than one account for your organization. In that case, you may need to choose the correct account from the drop-down menu. The gateway reference number is generated by the system and does not need to be filled in by you. In this example, we will not make any changes to the status and click the Submit button when finished. Your changes will be saved at this time. At this point, no information has been sent to your payment processor. The next step in the process is to post your payments. For step-by-step instructions on how to post payments, be sure to watch the separate Posting Payments tutorial.